there's a lot of risk taking here
Yeah.
in your story. I mean, that's another thing you said to me in that I wrote down. You said, I think you were referring to this adventure with the Rising Star Cave. You said it was the biggest risk I've ever taken, but boy, did it really pay off.
Yeah.
So talk to us about the story around that first big risk and how it led to where you're at now.
Yeah, I've taken a lot of risks in my career, actually. So I started off as, an undergrad archaeology student. So I was doing the whole traditional archaeology. And then during my third year of undergraduate studies, I decided I don't want to do artifacts anymore. I don't want to study artifacts. I want to study the people who made these artifacts, who incorporated them into their real lives. And essentially, what I was saying is I wanted to do human bones. And I said this to my advisors at the time, and one of them, or two actually, really took me seriously, and they're like, okay, they placed opportunities in front of me, and in order for me to get to where I am, I had to like take that risk of stepping away from what the rest of the class was doing, which was stone tools and pottery, stuff like that, and doing bones, but not just animal bones but human bones. And that has been the consistent thing. I went from an honors dealing with human remains from an archaeological site to writing fan mail to a professor in the UK, Professor Joanne Fletcher, and then landing up doing my master's in the UK. So moving from Southern Africa to the United Kingdom, that was a big step because I was away from family and friends, and I'd be on my own in this foreign country, to then moving back to South Africa and then making another big jump to going underwater and doing underwater archaeology. That's something I wasn't trained for at university, but it sounded exciting and I did it. And it was fun. As terrifying as it was and as stressful as diving is, it was fun. And because I did that, later on in my PhD, it would pay off in that, because I had managed to show the capability of working in stressful situations. I was then a perfect candidate to work in the Rising Star cave system. And it was that experience as underwater that led me to the Rising Star cave system. And then from there, that sort of led to, okay, she has leadership qualities. Let's see what she could do. And then UW 105 happened. And then Gladysville happened. So all
Right.
came with taking that one risk of opening your mouth and taking the opportunity that was given to you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now we haven't talked too much about the actual physical risk, but a lot of your studies are done in deep caves in
Mm.
very, I don't know, very uncomfortable places
Oh,
under
yeah.
the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Give us a little bit of that part of the journey, because not everybody's cut out to be a caver. You can be a maniac scientist and just be stricken with claustrophobia or whatever,
Mhm.
but I'm
Mm.
sure there's some risk about the pure caving aspect of becoming a scientist underground that you had to pull up some serious courage for.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if I take the Rising Star cave system, which is one of the three sites that I work at in the Cradle of Humankind, from the mouth of the cave to one of the most scientifically prominent chambers within that cave system is called Dina Lady. And that is maybe about, what, 200, 300 meters away from the mouth of the cave. So
Okay.
we have individuals in the world like Usain Bolt and my brother who could sprint that distance in about 9 seconds flat, right? But for us as a team, depending on who's on the team, it could take us between 25 to 30 minutes or 35 minutes to get from point A to point B. That's because how dangerous and difficult the route is. I mean, you're going through very tight channels and passages and tunnels, and you're climbing up 20 meters. It's intense. It's absolutely intense. But again, I think I think it goes to some part of my personality where I'm a bit of a psycho and I love the adrenaline rush, and there's just something that pumps in you that keeps you going. And as I transition from the mouth of the cave to Superman's Crawl, which is one section of the route to Dinaledi. And then from Superman's Crawl, you go into Dragon's Back, the Dragon's Back chamber, which is where we put on our harnesses and we get ready to climb about 20 meters up on a Dolomite ridge. And when you're in that chamber, which I've just recently been leading excavations at, you oh well, I at least, I speak for myself, I feel very, very warm, very, very hot, and either the temperature in that chamber has risen from 18 degrees to like 150 degrees Celsius, or it's the adrenaline that's pumping through you, knowing what you just went through and what you're about to go through. Because at the end of Dragon's Back is the chute labyrinth, and the smallest point in the chute labyrinth is like about 18 centimeters in width, which is shorter than your standard ruler. And I'm just like,
Yes.
ah, but it's fun. It's fun. It was fun, but also I'm getting older now, so I'm just like, one day I won't be able to do this.
Well, I tell you, what we're talking about is a lot of courage that you probably get from your just pure sense of it sounds like you have a level of curiosity that's quite extraordinary too.
Is it a sense of curiosity or just being really, really stubborn? I mean, like,
Oh,
I think it's both, right? Like, I'm very, very curious and I want to like explore a little bit, and then I try to, and then there are some instances in which I can't, and I'm like, what do you mean I can't? I'm gonna
yeah,
try. Like, I will try until like I physically cannot do it. So it's a
right.
combination of like curiosity and just being absolutely stubborn.